To me, fashion, beauty, it's gotten such a bad rap. But to me, it's spirituality. It's self-love in like the most materialistic form that you can express it in. And when you start looking at how someone dresses, it tells you everything about what they believe about themselves, how they feel they're allowed to show up in the world, and it changes their relationships, it changes their work performance, it changes their dreams and what they feel is possible for them. And it starts as early as little babies who I remember having a 9-month-old who I'd turn around and look in the mirror and they would see themselves and just delight in their appearance. And somewhere along the way, we lose that. We think it's wrong, or we just don't know how to do it.
Welcome to the Utah Business Spotlight. I'm Peter Anthony. I'm your host. Like, subscribe, share, tell people about this. This is the Utah Business Spotlight, baby. Today, I am here with my friend Maren Swenson. She's just a rock star, and she dresses like a rock star, and she turns you into your personalized rock star. She's going to release everything out inside of you so you can show the best version of yourself, the wild side of what you do and who you are. I love it. I love to be big. I love to be loud. I love to be bold. This lady is turning Utah on its head. I love it. Maren, how are you?
I'm wonderful, especially after that amazing introduction.
Man, we're so, as somebody who comes from New York, I come from Brooklyn. I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, man. So I was hanging out in the East Village, my background, my background. I used to have long, wild hair, and I used to have a mohawk at one point, and I was a disc jockey in the scene. And, I love fashion. I love the fact that you can project and personalize and individualize. And what I find in Utah that you might find also is that so many people kind of draw in instead of project out. Thoughts?
Chasing belonging, chasing approval.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That you talked about Wild, my brand Wild Serenity. I was the opposite of Wild growing up. The same culture I grew up in, this idea that humility and bold self-expression couldn't coexist. And it was that finding the wildest thing I could do for myself was just be me and stop trying to fit in and be the proverbial good girl all the time.
And it's truly one of those paths. I was the same way. I grew up very humbly. I grew up in a very, I grew up in a faith that was confining, right? Because their whole ideal was to be like us and not like them. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really dig the way you guys dress, and I'm not a suit and tie guy, and your hair is really kind of weak, and and it was hard because it didn't honor individuality. But I think the expression of what makes us an individual, what draws me to that blazer or to this ring or to a particular hairstyle, is not only, it's the craft of the artist as much as me loving to wear it. I think it's so important that we support and really dive into not only self-expression, but the supporting of others who express themselves. What are your thoughts on that?
To me, fashion, beauty, it's gotten such a bad rap. But to me, it's spirituality. It's self-love in like the most materialistic form that you can express it in. And when you start looking at how someone dresses, it tells you everything about what they believe about themselves, how they feel they're allowed to show up in the world, and it changes their relationships, it changes their work performance, it changes their dreams and what they feel is possible for them. And it starts as early as little babies who I remember having a 9-month-old who I'd turn around and look in the mirror and they would see themselves and just delight in their appearance. And somewhere along the way, we lose that. We think it's wrong, or we just don't know how to do it.
And Wild Serenity really focuses on building relationships with yourself. And I know that for you, you're one of as a stylist and a coach and a spiritual advisor of sorts. you're doing a lot of that with women, but it's also dudes, guys, you got to give her permission to be herself so that she'll be prepared to surrender. You know, it's so important. And we don't realize that symbiotic relationship where, you know, men are really indoctrinated to be followers, right? You know, fall in line, you know, because we want you to prepare to be of military service, to be of church service, to be of community service, where, you know, I mean, all a blazer and tie are is a uniform.
Yeah.
Right? It's a uniform, and you know, and you're showing up in the same uniform as everybody else. Maybe you have a different color tie, and it's like, oh boy, my tie is orange, right? And I'm stepping out with this really wild tie, and I think what I love about what you do, and I know I want to touch on some of your upcoming events and how you do it and what that looks like. But what I love about that is you work with human souls to help them find their fashion voice.
It's their inner essence coming out in fashion form. That's my container is called soul-led style because we start soul-led style.
Oh my gosh, you keep getting better and better. You are like a fine wine, man.
That's how life is supposed to be. We are supposed to keep getting better and better.
I love that, soul-led. And that's really, truly, that's the essence of your relationship with yourself, right? Is to just keep on diving in and trying more. You know, I see it's so funny, and you probably see this too. I see guys, you know, they're wearing the same jeans that they wore in high school, and they're 50 years old. They're wearing the same ugly white sneakers from 30 years ago, and they're stressing and going out of their way to find that exact pair because that was their cool image in high school, which was a terrible image, right? And it was never looked good. It didn't look good then.
Usually.
It doesn't look good today. And I really encourage, you know, my background is hair, and I really encourage people to find that piece that makes them feel something. When we had our salons, we would always ask our clients in our consultation, never what they wanted, but at the end of this, how would you like to feel?
Would you like to feel? That's the guiding question for all of my work. It's not what should I wear? It's how do you want to feel in your clothing?
Oh,
how are
so
we
we're
bring
vibing. We're the
we're
same.
Vibing.
I love that.
Because you know that style is an energy, right? It's like soul-led style came from me having people ask me all the time, please take me shopping. I want you to dress me. I want to have a style just like yours. And I would take them shopping. This was, you know, as a teenager or a young adult. And I dressed them up in the most beautiful clothing and they looked exactly like me and they hated it.
Right.
Because they couldn't look in the mirror and hold that frequency. And I understood finally that what they really wanted was to feel the way I felt in my own clothing. So it became about finding what was going to work for them and make them feel that way.
And today, as a coach and as a leader in this movement, right? And you're taking women. You have groups that you work with where they can participate and learn this over time, which I love. I think that's brilliant. Then simultaneously, you can work with them one-on-one, and you create these incredible spaces, these beautiful lunches, right? Where people can come in and they're encouraged to show up as they are. And then you also, I know that you have one coming up. I want to say it's maybe the end of May. Go to marenswenson.com.
Marenswenson.com.
And your events page, and you'll see you can sign up for it. But I know that there's a black and white party coming up, and it's a black and white fashion show.
Oh, it's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen.
It's going to be so cool. I was reading about it. I was like, this is the coolest idea ever, right? It's super exclusive. I think you're going to only have like 70 attendees. Half of them are going to be in black. Half of them are going to be all in white. You're showcasing these 7 archetypes of design and fashion and expression. I love it, man. So tell me, how were you inspired? What can someone expect?
Yeah. Coming to this event, it's like seeing everything you could be and know you are inside, but haven't felt like you've been able to express it out, like materialized in 3D form for you. You sit in a room full of people who have it. This iconic feeling of women who own their bodies, own their clothing, own the room, can walk confidently and show you what you are really, and you just have been waiting to come out, that's what you can expect.
And I love that you're encouraging expression. You're encouraging people to project, to peacock a bit.
To flaunt.
To put, yes, exactly. It's like put on your best white outfit and just wear it and put your chin up and own it. And it's just going to be so cool. I mean, I know you're doing social shots there. There's going to be all kinds of social integration. You have a red carpet planned. You have just cool stuff. And then
it's a full-on party.
It's a party.
An exclusive, very curated, high-level party, because that's what I like.
I love that.
The finer things in life.
Right. And it's really for ladies, right? Because you're going to be promoting and presenting female fashion.
Yeah.
So this one's just for the ladies. I know that you do some things with men as well, but this one's just for the ladies. And man, I can't wait to be there. I'm going to be a fly on the wall. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible to see that energy, to experience that level of energy. Because what happens is, and many people don't know this, but if men talk about being alphas and leaders, and there can only be one. But what's interesting about men who are alphas, beta men don't want to work with other men. They're nervous because they think they'll be discovered, right? So they become self-conscious. Alpha men, do you put two alphas together, something's going to happen amazing. You put 6 alphas together and you have SEALs Team 6.
Yeah.
You have the best of the best in the world working in congruency. It's not about who's the leader. It's about who's willing to step into the role and own it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes the best things in life. And what you're doing is you're helping people step into that role before they step out of their bedroom, right? You're helping them step back into that role when they step into the bedroom. It's pretty incredible. And what I also have discovered when we were going through and preparing for this podcast, you're not body focused, you're fashion focused, which really de-emphasized the need. It's like, of course you maybe want to be healthy, but your message isn't being hard and fit. It's owning who you are in this moment. Understanding your moment might change. Talk a little about that.
Because the body will catch up to the internal experience. Iconic women don't wait for someday. They create it for themselves now. They don't sit there and say, well, in 5 years when the kids are done this and I've made this much money and I've got more time, then I'll go do the thing I really want to do. No. We don't do any of that. We dress for who we are now, who we want to be, who we really are. And once you do that, everything else becomes easier because you're living as the woman who knows who she is. And so you're just naturally going to take better care of your body. You're going to want to fill it with healthy foods. You're going to want to move it because you're not shy and uncomfortable in your own skin. You want to go out and see people. You want to make eye contact and show off because you love it. And your body is, in my belief, just an external expression of what's happening internally. It's all energy.
Sure. And I love that you touched on you want to go out. You want to show off. You want to be seen and see others. And I completely agree. I think that your body and your mind and your life follow suit. We say that in our marketing, in our mindset marketing groups, that your mindset is determined. If you're unwilling to go out there, you're never going to make money. If you're unwilling to show off and position and polish your brand so that it's shiny and beautiful and it can project, well, then how are people going to find you in this sea of a billion businesses?
Yeah. And you have to be willing to see yourself first before you can share it with anyone. And I think fashion does that for women. That's why I talk about it being such an act of self-love and honor, because the feminine birthright is to create beauty in all forms. We do it in relationships. We do it with our kids. We do it in our homes. We do it with partners. And we do it aesthetically. Like, women are meant to attract, to magnetize, to be beautiful, and to love it. And a man who's truly in his masculine loves a woman who knows how hot she is.
Yeah.
And shows it.
Yeah. And in my belief, I think all women are hot.
Yeah.
I just, when I was doing hair, we had the first thing I put on our windows of our first salon back in 1989, and it said, "Beauty comes from within."
Absolutely.
It was never about you having to become something. It was always about you releasing the beauty that lived within you. And I think that's probably why I resonate with your brand.
Give me chills.
Is because, we can do something make you that looks incredible, but it's not you in the moment. And we can do something that just automatically releases you. And it doesn't have to be a big change, but it has, you have to, I feel that you have to take ownership of the change. And what you're doing is giving people permission to take ownership of that who they already are.
Absolutely. And that's why I love creating experiences for women, because we can do all the one-on-one work and get you your style, which is hugely important. But then you need experiences to actually embody it, to let yourself be seen in it, to feel it, to train your nervous system that it's safe to be exactly who you are. Show up.
I love that. And what happens to your clients, I would imagine, is when they start working with you, their relationships either get stronger or sometimes could end, right? Because you could threaten.
I've seen both.
Right? It is threatening when you become who you are and the other person didn't want you to be that person. That's okay. It's fine. But what happens in your personal life is you start attracting more congruent friendships. You start attracting stronger business relationships. You start building faster and deeper than you could have ever imagined, because you've stepped into something that was gifted to you at birth, but you've just been denying.
Yeah. And you resurrect that, and then you suddenly are filled with people, right?
I love it.
Yeah. And you're filled with people who match you. Once you see yourself, once you let yourself out of the box, you'll find that there are so many other people who've just been waiting for you to come join them.
Share with me a success that you've had with a client.
Yeah. I have this one client who was in an abusive marriage for a really long time. She was extremely overweight, very uncomfortable with it. And since I came into her life right after she got divorced, and she's been on a self-love journey since then. And she was really nervous about working with me at first. And then when we started, we were really getting down to the root of like, what is holding you back? How do you want to dress, but you're not letting yourself dress? And when it really came down to it, she was mortified about her arms because she had rolls from losing weight and rolls from being overweight. And she could not handle anyone seeing her arms. It carried so much shame for her, so much shame. And it wasn't really about the arms. It was about...
Well, that reminded her of the ups and downs in her journey.
Yes.
Where she was vulnerable and where she was just really hurt.
So hurt. She was manipulated and abused for so long, and she let herself do that. Just a lot of trauma.
Man, I want to give her a hug right now.
Oh, and if you know this woman, like when I first met her, she was in all dark colors, hiding everything, straight, long black hair, glasses, and she was so reserved. And over time, she is bright. She shows up in orange and red and pink and gold jewelry everywhere. We did a photo shoot together, and she was decked out in every piece of jewelry I had supplied for her. But beyond the physical change, she is so excited to come out and meet all these new women. She went from being home, working from home in a really awful relationship, to like cultivating huge friendships and going out and dating and having fun. And like it's opened up opportunities with her daughters that are very important to her. She has 2 teenage daughters that she loves and wants to put a good example for. And it's changed her life. It's changed their life. She's like, I look at her and it's like freedom. It's possibility. It's like she's just springboarded into action and is having so much fun living this life she never allowed herself to live before.
Wow. And if someone, I know that you have several packages. One is a group coaching package, which I love. I think that's so that people can just kind of come in, they can maintain this, find a new ecosystem, create networks of these beautiful people, which is always more fun, right?
Yeah.
It's always fun to go
it's
shopping.
Safety and sisterhood.
Yeah.
That's a huge...
Safety and sisterhood,
it's a
man.
big
You're
component.
killing me with these words. I love safety and sisterhood.
I mean, if you, like, a woman can walk into a room full of admiring men, and that's one thing. But you put her in a room full of other hot women, and it's a whole new ball game.
It's a whole new ball
So
game.
finding those women who love that you're hot and are hot with you, that changes everything for women.
And it's that support that only comes through confidence. I've watched with having 5 million ladies walk through my salons over almost 30 years. And I looked and I say, you know, the interesting thing is that women always talk about how mean and cruel women are to other women. They're only cruel when you're not confident.
Yeah.
Because confidence is the shield. It's like, you know, it's this ceramic coating that just lets everything be hyperbolic, because it's splashing things that aren't going to hurt you anyway, unless you own it, right? Just let it roll off of you. When you're confident, that these things don't happen. But when you're confident, you're shinier and you're more attractive. So people start to attract to you. When you're living in the least little bit of uncertainty about something, if you can't find your way quickly to confidence, it's going to be painful.
Yeah, leaks in the system. Yeah. Let those cruel, because they're out there. People are mean, and people are also amazing.
But the antithesis is that they are incredible human souls who are ready to shine with you, not necessarily. And we found that with, you know, in our celebrities, working with celebrities, you know, it's interesting because they attract more celebrities the more confident they are. They attract more. And whenever you're great at what you do, other great people want to be around you.
Absolutely.
You project something extraordinary.
Yeah.
And you're bringing that to light. Man, I am so proud of you and so grateful you took the time to come on the show. What's the easiest way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, email Maren@marenswenson.com or Instagram. You can DM me there.
And what's your Instagram handle?
It's Find Wild Serenity.
Find Wild Serenity. So cool. So cool. And if you're out there and you want to learn more about how to personalize your style, how to project yourself through fashion, Maren is the person to get in touch with. We'd love to see you at her event in the end of May. Make sure you get tickets. Make sure you subscribe to what she's doing. Make sure you find her, love her, share this, and tell people you can be whoever you want. Just be you.